Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Perth Sevens. The last match for these two sides playing off for 9th place, Kenya versus New Zealand, a rematch of the group stage fixtures. And in the starting lineup for the Kenyans, it will be Kevin Waikesa, Azati, Amaitsa, Abukusi, Anthony Mboya, George Oro, who has had a pretty strong tournament overall for Kenya, and then also Patrick Adongo Kongo, the last man. And the starting side for New Zealand, Regan Ware, also Kunawave, Sione Molia, Dylan Collier, Vainuku, Ollie Mathis, and Andrew Newstub. So a very different look side here for New Zealand compared to what they have used in some of their other games. Now, they came in as 6th ranked, the Kiwis, heading into this matchup. Kenya 9th. So there's still a few extra points that can be gained for these two sides. Hi, all, and Hamish. Says Robert V, welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing extremely well and hope you are excited for yet again another day of the Sevens. The next game that we are covering will be a semi-final between South Africa and Australia. So that will be one to definitely keep an eye on. But the Kenyans love to cause an upset here. New Zealand have been far from their best throughout this tournament. So it would be quite a statement win here for Kenya if they were able to get over the line and get themselves the victory. But George Oro, like I mentioned, he has been very strong throughout this competition so far. Let's see whether or not he can back it up here as well. Hey, Hamish says Brandon Game in the chat. Welcome in, mate. Hope you're doing well. Dylan Collier, the captain of New Zealand, sitting 33 years old at the moment. We'll be hoping to lead his side to a 9th place finish, which is still a lot lower than the New Zealanders would have been after. But if they can get the job done, they will certainly take it. But like I said, this game is for 9th. We will see Fiji in action a bit later on up against France. That is playing off for 5th. So all of these games are starting to determine exactly where sides are going to finish in the overall Perth rankings. But nicely claimed by Azati inside of the 22 for Kenya. We will now be underway for this 9th place final. Patrick Adongo Kongo in the middle of the field, tackled low by Regan Ware. Trying to get out of that breakdown and not risk giving away the penalty. Now, the last game that we saw from New Zealand, it was up against Fiji. In fact, that was the last one of their group stage. They did also have the playoff game up against the Irish, in which they were able to win. But yeah, that game up against the Fijians definitely stands out as one that did not go the way of the Kiwis. Game day for some amazing Blitzbox 7, says LFG. I just keep saying game part, says Brandon. And there as well. Tackled 40 metres out from their own line here. Kenya, some nice position early on up against New Zealand, not allowing the All Black Sevens have too much possession. Little grubber attempted down the wing. Andrew Newstub cleans it up, and he is wrestled out. Very well done from Kenya, holding off so that they do end up with the line-out throw. They are just showing there, whoever gets 9th will get 4 points compared to the side who get 10th, who get 3. So, yes, it might not sound like a huge amount of extra points, but it can come in very handy as we get towards the end of the competition. Going to be thrown in. Not the straightest one, though, for Kenya, unfortunately. Which does now mean New Zealand will have the scrum of the line. How was cricket yesterday? It was all right overall. It looked like it was going to be raining for a majority of the day, but luckily, as soon as we got there, the rain pretty much completely stopped. So I think we got pretty lucky overall. New Zealand, they are sitting on 24 points. So they will struggle to gain too much ground here for this round of the Sevens. And with it being such a shortened format, it's always difficult because you, of course, don't want to find yourself getting behind the rest of the sides. I've got to attack and run from New Zealand with Regan Ware. Still on the side of the All Black Sevens. Here comes the captain, Dylan Collier, almost through. Nice low tackle made again by Abukusi. So important for Kenya to not concede that first try of the contest. Nice offload there, double one. Now Regan Ware. It's going to be a foot race. It looks like he's going to win it. Azati's going to force him towards the corner. New Zealand strike first in this matchup. Be a bit of a disappointing one there for Kenya. We do see it there, just a nice little pop pass up. Regan, we're able to finish the job. New Zealand not looking very good this season. Only good was Dubai, says Brandon. Yeah, getting off to a good start in the overall circuit of the Sevens. And then from there, it has really gone downhill for them. And it's a great kick, though, from near the touchline, making the score now 7-0 in favour of New Zealand. Age of 30 here for Regan. We're 127 tries on the Sevens circuit, and that's a rough one. Azati not able to take it clean. Luckily for him, though, the ball did go backwards. Bit of a tricky one to be able to handle there. Now looking for a bit of a counter-ruck there, New Zealand, but Kenya will keep the ball with the blitz box, win the Perth Sevens. Will they be ranked first in the rankings? Does depend a little bit in terms of where everyone else who are high up do finish. They'd be definitely right up there at the moment. I believe they're currently ranked third in the overall standings. So they need Fiji to lose to France, and also they need Spain to not do well, which is surprising, isn't it? That Spain at the moment are the team in second above South Africa. So if Spain managed to win up against Argentina, I believe South Africa can't go to number one. But Patrick Adonga-Okongo around the outside, wide open, and Kenya will now get their first try of the matchup. And it is Patrick Adonga-Okongo, the try-scoring machine, who is able to get it done. See there, 11 tries at the moment for that man on the Sevens circuit. He is having an absolute field day. Just showing there, going around the outside of Vainuku. And we got bad storms last night. It was noisy too. So you didn't get any feel. I think Northland weather, says Brandon. Now that one is going to be kicked over. And that now makes the score 7 points to 7. Series tries at the moment. Georgie Nasova has 11. Patrick Adonga-Okongo right up there too with the 11th try being scored just there. New Zealand almost knocking that ball on. In fact, they will get themselves the penalty. Now taking the quick tap was Andrew Newstub to the short side. Not a lot of space to work for Sione Moliere. And now breaking forward here through the gap. Just loses the footing though. Almost able to get there was Kunuwave. Now New Zealand still have this ball. Sione Moliere, who is your pick to win the Perth Sevens. Says LFG. I do think that South Africa have got a great chance. But for that to happen, of course, they do have to get past the Australians. And then more than likely they'll have a rematch with Argentina, who they did lose to in the group stage. So even though I think they're likely, it is actually a relatively tough path for them to get there. But I still feel like they should be able to. A few of the sides that can sometimes trouble them have already been and gone in this comp. A long time no see, Amish says, joke the woke, welcome in, mate. Hope you have been keeping well. At what time the semi, says Ruslan. So the semis will be taking place for the one in particular that we are covering. That is going to be the matchup between South Africa and Australia. And that is starting at around 8:27 p.m. New Zealand time. So that is 9:27 a.m. for South African time. And who won the URC last night, Amish? So we did see the Bulls win over the Lions. And then we saw Leinster win comfortably up against the Stormers. Looks like there is going to be maybe a reserve coming on the field here for Kenya, Onyala, I should say, making his way on. Kevin Wakesa, he looks confused. I don't know whether it's an HIA. He's asking why he's being taken off, seeing as we are still in the first half. He's probably got a fair point as well. He's not really a guy that you want to have off the field early on, I wouldn't think. He is a bit of a game changer. If it was an HIA, that to me would make sense. Looks like Kenya have just run out of space here, and the line-out will be the chance for New Zealand to be able to get an attack going right at the end of the first half. Sione Moliere. Okay, so they're just saying there Kevin Wakesa has actually gone off for an HIA. And then from there, if he passes it, he will be able to make his way back out onto the field to continue. But now nice pass on the outside for Kenya. Running down the wing. Onyala, the man who just made his way onto the field for Wakesa, does finish the job. And that is another try now for Kenya. Right near the end of the first half. And that is exactly what they need. Semi-final will be bringing it at 8 p.m. in Australia versus South Africa starting at 8:20. And Argentina, Spain is 8 p.m. Says Brandon there as well. But Onyala down the wing just fends off the defence of Kunawave. Now they will have the lead heading into half-time. It's a big statement. I know I think I write. Says Brandon. No, Fiji, says Ruslan. So Fiji have got their game later on up against France. And that is going to be the 5th place playoff game. They were knocked out in the quarterfinals by South Africa 19-0. It was definitely not the best performance from the Fijians. And G says Goyo there. And let's go Kenya, says LFG. Yeah, a really good start to this match for the Kenyans. And they haven't allowed New Zealand to take control of this game. Instead, just keeping them at bay. Go Kenya, says Goyo. I assume that was what you were trying to put when you did have that G at the start. Of course, firmly behind Kenya for this competition. Let's go New Zealand, says Brandon. Now second half not too far away from taking place. A few key players off the bench for these two sides. We already saw Onyala make his way on and score pretty much within a minute of making his way onto the park. It was for Kevin Waikesu, who was not too happy about it, but obviously someone said that he did need an HIA, so they will possibly be able to bring him out in the second half. The next game that we have got on the channel, we are going to be starting that live stream at around 8:15. So in 50 minutes time, ladies and gents, can you get lots of coaching from South Africa? Says Johan. And Hamish, did you get any sleep last night or today? Says Brandon. I've had like probably 3-4 hours since yesterday. I managed to squeeze in an hour in between the URC games. And then after the Stormers versus Leinster game, I ended up sleeping for about 3 hours. And then I had to get up so that I could record with George. So it's been a busy day. And Kenya, let's go win this game, says Lucy K. But Vincent Onyala changing the game right at the end of that first half. But now, chance here for the Kenyans. Kick this ball off high. Nicely taken. Going off to the left-hand side. Andrew Newstubb. They're only a few metres out from their own line here. I don't want to see Hamish upset, so I Kenya lose, says Bruce. Honestly, out of these two sides, Kenya winning would do a lot more for them. So if they were to win, I would not mind one bit. Plus, it pretty much, I guess, confirms that they should have never been taken off the Seven Circuit anyway. I feel like when they cut it down to 12 teams, they lost so many promising sides, including Kenya. I mean, the atmosphere that we have seen all throughout the first 3 leagues when Kenya have been back on the circuit has been electric. I think Samoa should still be on the circuit alongside Canada, and then maybe someone like a Germany. Still have those 16 teams. Now, going to be on the outside here for Ollie Mathis. Not a huge amount of space to work with as he was right on the touchline. A little bit of a fumble, the ball there for Sione Molia, but it does go backwards. Now, going to be the big man, Kunawave, going across to Regan Ware, who will fire it back across to Sione Molia. New Zealand sometimes have this, and it seems to be when they just can't quite find that next gap, so they just keep on firing the wide passes across. Don't make a huge amount of meters, and they're forced into touch there once again. Ollie Mathis given no room to work with. Hey, Richard's commentary, you can't cover any team. Says Brandon. Once again, they have said New Zealand just making bad decisions in terms of which passes to go with, which once again puts Kenya in a bit of a box seat. Couple changes are being made. Kunawave making his way from the field, same with Ollie Mathis. Does look like there is a bit of an injury here for one of the Kenyan players. Still 5.5 minutes remaining in this fixture. Going to be important, or a very important little period of play here for the Kenyans. So maybe shoulder injury here. But for now, it is going to be play on. And all right, Hamish, I'm going to watch on Sky Sports. See you later, says Brandon. So we will see you later on. The crowd absolutely loving it. HBF Park in Perth, Kenya. Look at the atmosphere that they have got. Probably a couple hundred Kenyan supporters all in one section of the stands. It's absolutely awesome to see. Dylan Collier goes back across to the right-hand side now. Thought about the skip pass was Andrew Newstup. The defence in this game from the Kenyans has been very strong. Wide cut-out pass. Now gets it away to, I believe that was Brady Rush, was it? It's been chopped down. Tony Nashu. New Zealand, they're in a tricky predicament at the moment because they find themselves trying out young players, and every time they do that, they find themselves having to rely on the veterans later on in the game to try and win it for them. The likes of Tony Nashu has been brought on. Also, we will more than likely see, well, that's the thing, Cody Vai, he's one of the younger guys, but I do expect them to make that sub at some stage in the near future, Hamish. When the South Africans playing again, they are playing at around 50 minutes time. In fact, a little bit closer to the hour, and we are going to be covering that game on the channel as well. It is up against the Australians, a side that they've already met in the Sevens competition. Dylan Collier wrestled down low by Omondi. Looking for the counter ruck from Kenya. New Zealand doing well to regather the ball. Regan Ware still offloaded across. Andrew Newstup again. New Zealand find themselves at a standing start up against this Kenyan defence. Dylan Collier, great offload that one was. Newstup goes to Tony Nashu. Offloads again. Just aren't going anywhere at the moment. Vainuku looks for the offload. That looked like an accident. That looked like he actually dropped that ball. They will go on the inside. And Newstup scores it. We must win this game, says Nelson. And Andrew Newstup does score the try. Yeah, that one looked like a pure accident from Vainuku. Looked like maybe he just dropped the ball. And luckily for him, it went backwards into the hands of his teammate, or at least it looked like he had some intention of offloading it, but I think it slapped into a Kenyan, which then put it straight into the hands of Regan Ware on the inside. And Try says choke the woke. Now New Zealand back into this contest. They have the kick to come and they do get it over, which now gives the Kiwis a lead with 3 minutes to go in this contest. A little bit of a banana kick the way that one came round for Andrew Newstup, but it is still anyone's game. It was close between these sides in the group stage. It looks like this one for the 9th place final will be no different. Nicely claimed by Kenya, who have got the possession, but New Zealand locking themselves over the ball, and they will win the penalty. Tony Nashu, the man who does it. So he has already changed this game quite a bit since making his way off of the bench for the Kiwis. They have decided to go for the scrum now. So use up a little bit more time. I think for New Zealand, the less amount of time that they can have Kenya with the ball in hand, the absolute better off they'll be, because they are a dangerous side with Okongo, with Mboya. Type of players who can just break a line and keep on running. On Yala, we saw him score down the wing in the first half. Come on, New Zealand, says Heaney. Now Andrew Newstup going off to the right-hand side here for New Zealand. And the middle of the field finds Cody Vai on the outside. Double step. Offloads to, I believe it is Brady Rush. Now Newstup. New Zealand seem like they've found a little bit more momentum now in their favour. That is a forward pass. And I am very surprised that they haven't called that one. It was straight in front of the touch judge. Tony Nashu back across Newstup. New Zealand make the most of this opportunity they've been given. Brady Rush goes across to Andrew Newstup, now flying down the same wing. Sione Molia gets within 10 metres. Regan Ware with some quick hands. Collier, pick and go, and that will be the try for New Zealand, but I do think probably should have been rolled back earlier on from a forward pass of the New Zealanders. But they do strike again, and now if they get this kick over, more than likely they will win this 9th place game. And 19 points to 12 currently. With the kick to come, we still have a chance of golden point time here. Kenya can get themselves a converted try. That is if New Zealand do miss it. I went past your way 2 times a day, or 2 times a day, I would have tooted. But I don't think you would have heard my Duke's horn from the main highway. It's passing horse float on my way home. Here's Kiwi Gamer. 12 passes in a row here for New Zealand. The kick has missed though, like I said. So 30 seconds remaining. Kenya need a converted try if they want to win, that's kicked out on the full from New Zealand. So they've given Kenya a little bit more of a chance being in a good attacking position. New Stub not too happy about it either. Definitely didn't want that ball to go into touch. Now, Kenya, they're going to take the quick tap on the halfway line. Okay, he's been told to take that one again here for Kenya. The full-time siren has sounded, which means this will be the final play of this 9th place playoff game unless Kenya can score the try and get themselves penalty advantage to the Kenyans there. They decide to kick it in behind. That's a bit of a mistake, I believe, because if New Zealand can get this ball, it's scrubbed forward. Chance for Kenya. He just couldn't quite get to it, I don't think. Did he get the grounding? I don't know if he could quite reach out. They're celebrating it. It was extremely close. There's no denying that. But I just don't know if he got downward pressure. Oh, it's just dead by half an inch, unfortunately. It's going to be no try. But so close to being able to get it. I still don't know if the kick was the best option there, though, for Kenya. Of course, it's easier to say that now that it hasn't worked. It almost did. I think they had to shift that one through their hands. Kenya, they will finish 10th. New Zealand get 9th, but boy, they have been pushed by Kenya in both of their games that they have had in the Perth Sevens. But nonetheless, do hope you guys all enjoyed. We have got our next live stream taking place in around 40 minutes time. That will be the semi-final between South Africa and Australia. Got a relatively long build-up for that one, as we will be talking about the game happening prior between Spain and Argentina. Nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you all for the next one.